Hey, this is Dr. Harshada and welcome to my audiobook. Chapter 1, The Living World. How wonderful is living world? Wide range of living type is amazing. The extraordinary habitat in which we find living organism, be it cold mountain, deciduous forest, oceans, freshwater lakes, desert or hot springs leaves us speechless. The beauty of galloping horse, of the migrating birds, the valley flower, or the attacking shark evolves awe and a deep sense of wonder. The ecological conflict and cooperation among members of population and among populations of community or even a molecular traffic inside a cell makes us deeply reflect on what indeed is life. This question has two implications within it. The first is technical one and seek answer to what living is opposed to non-living. And second is philosophical one and seek answer to what the purpose of life is. As scientists, we shall not attempt answering the second question. We'll try to reflect on what is living. 1.1 Diversity in living world. If you look around, you will see large variety of living organisms. Be it potted plants, insect, bird, or your pet, or other animals and plants. There are also several organisms that you cannot see with your naked eye, but they are all around you. If you were to increase the area that you make observation in, the range and variety of organisms that you would see would increase. Obviously, if you were to visit a dense forest, you would probably see a much larger number and kind of living organism in it. Each different kind of plant, animal or organism that you see represent a species. A number of species that are known and described the range between 1.7 to 1.8 million. This refers to the biodiversity or the number and types of organisms present on Earth. We should remember here that as we explore new areas and even old ones, new organisms are continuously being identified. As stated earlier, there are millions of plants and animals in the world. We know the plant and animal in our own area by their local names. These local names would vary from place to place, even within a country. Probably you would recognize the confusion that would be created if we did not find a way and mean to talk to each other to refer to organism we are talking about. Hence, there is need to standardize the naming of living organism such that a particular organism known by same name all over the world. This process is called nomenclature. Obviously, nomenclature or naming is only possible when organism is described correctly and we know to what organism name is attached to. This is identification. In order to facilitate this study, number of scientists have established procedure to assign a scientific name to each known organism. This is acceptable to biologists all over the world. For example, for plant, scientific names are based on agreed principle and criteria, which are provided in International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. You may ask, how are animals named? Animal taxonomists have evolved International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. The scientific name ensures that each organism has only one name. Description of any organism should enable people in any part of the world to arrive at same name. They also ensure that such a name has not been used for any other known organism. Biologists follow universally accepted principle to provide scientific name to known organism. Each name has two components, the generic name and the specific epithet. This system of providing a name with two components is binomial nomenclature. This naming system given by Carlos Linnaeus is being practiced by biologists all over the world. This naming system used two-word format was found convenient. Let us talk the example of mango to understand a way of providing scientific name better. The scientific name of mango is written as Mangifera indica. Let us see how is binomial name. In this name, Mangifera represents the genus, while indica is a particular species or a specific epithet. Other universal rule for nomenclature are as follow. 1. Biological names are generally in Latin and written in italics. They are Latinized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. Second, a first word in binomial name represents the genus while second component denote the specific epithet. Both the words in binomial name when handwritten are separately underlined or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. 4. The first word denotes the genus starting with capital letter while the specific epithet start with small letter. It can be illustrated with the example of Mangifera indica. Name of author appear after the specific epithet, that is at the end of biological name, and is written in abbreviated form. For example, Mangifera indica Lenin. It indicates that this species was first derived by Linus. Since it is nearly impossible to study all living organisms, it is necessary to devise some means to make this possible. This process is classification. Classification is a process by which anything is grouped into convenient category based on some easily observable characters. For example, we easily recognize groups such as plant or animal or dog, cat or insect. The moment we use any of this term, we associate certain character with organism in that group. What image do you see when you think of dog? Obviously, each one of will see dogs and not cats. Now, if we were to think of illustration, we know what we are talking about. Similarly, suppose we were to say mammals, you would of course think of animal with external ear and body hair. Likewise, in plant, if we try to talk of wheat, the picture in each of our mind will be of wheat and not of rice or any other plant. Hence, all these dogs, cat, mammals, wheat, rice, plant, animal, etc. are convenient category we use to study organism. The scientific term for this category is taxa. Here you must recognize that taxa can indicate category at very different levels. Plant also form a taxa. Wheat is also taxa. Similarly, animals, mammals, dogs are all taxa. But know that dog is mammal and mammal are animals. Therefore, animals, mammals and dogs represent taxa at different level. Hence, based on characteristic, all living organism can be classified into different taxa. This process of classification is called taxonomy. External and internal structure along with the structure of cell, development processes and ecological information of organism are essential and form of the basis of modern taxonomic study. Hence, the characterization, identification, classification and nomenclature are the processes that are basis to taxonomy. Taxonomy is not something new. Human beings have always been interested in knowing more and more about the various kinds of organisms, particularly with the reference to their own use. In early days, human beings needed to find some source of their basic need of food, clothing, and shelter. Hence, the earliest classification were based on uses of various organisms. Human beings were since long not only interested in knowing more about different kind of organisms and their diversities, but also the relation among them. This branch of study was referred as systematics. The word systematic is derived from Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement of organism. Linus used Systema Naturae as the title of his publication. The scope of systematic was later enlarged to include identification, nomenclature, and classification. Systematic take into account evolutionary relationship between organisms. 1.2 Taxonomic category. Classification is not a single step process but involves hierarchy of steps, in which each step represents a rank or a category. Since a category is a part of overall taxonomic arrangement, it is called taxonomic category, and all categories together constitute taxonomic hierarchy. Each category referred to as a unit of classification, in fact, represents a rank and is commonly termed as taxon. Taxonomic category and hierarchy can be illustrated by example. Insect represent a group of organisms sharing common features like 3 pairs of jointed legs. It means insects are recognizable concrete object which can be classified and thus were given a rank or a category. Can you name other such group of organisms? Remember, group represent category. Category further denote rank. Each rank or taxon in fact represent a unit of classification. These taxonomic groups, categories are distinct biological entities and not merely morphological aggregates. Taxonomic studies of all known organisms have led to development of common categories such as kingdom, phylum or division, class, order, family, genus and species. All organisms including those in plants and animal kingdom have species as the lowest category. Now the question you may ask is how to place an organism in various categories. The basic requirement is knowledge of characteristic of an individual or group of organisms. This helps in identifying similarities and dissimilarities among the individual of same kind of organism as well as of other kind of organism. 1.2.1 Species. Taxonomic studies consider a group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities as species. One should be able to distinguish one species from other closely related species based on distinct morphological differences. Let us consider Mangifera indica, Solanum tubosum, and Panthera leo. All the three names indica, tubosum, and leo represent the species epithet, while the first word Mangifera, Solanum, and Panthera are genera and represent another higher level of taxon or category. Each genus may have one or more than one specific epithet representing different organisms but having morphological similarities. For example, Panthera has another specific epithet called Tigris, and Solanum include species like Nigrum and Melongena. Human beings belong to species Sapien, which is grouped in genus Homo. The scientific name thus for human being is written as Homo sapiens. 1.2.2 Genus. Genus comprises a group of related species which has more characteristics in common in comparison to species of other genera. We can say that genera are aggregate of closely related species. For example, potato and brinjal are two different species but belong to a genus Solanum. Lion, leopard, and tigers, with several common features, are all species of genus Panthera. This genus differs from another genus Felis, which include cat. 1.2.3 Family. The next category, family, has group of related genera with still less number of similarity as compared to genus and species. Families are characterized on the basis of both vegetative and reproductive feature of plant species. Among the plant, for example, three different genera, Solanum, Butenia, and Datura, are placed in family Solanaceae. Among animals, for example, genus Panthera, comprising lion, tiger, leopard, is put along with genus Felis in family Felidae. Similarly, if you observe the feature of cat and dog, you will find some similarities and some differences as well. They are separated into two different families, Felidae and Canidae, respectively. 1.2.4 Order. You have seen earlier that categories like species, genus, and family are based on number of similar characteristics. Generally, order and other higher taxonomic categories are identified based on aggregate of characters. Order, being a higher category, is assembled of families which exhibit few similar characters. The similar characters are less in number as compared to different genera included in family. Plant families like Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae are included in order Polymonelaceae, mainly based on floral characters. The animal order Carnivora include families like Felidae and Canidae. 1.2.5 Class. This category includes related orders. For example, other primata comprising monkey, gorilla, and gibbon is placed in class mammals along with other carnivores that include animals like tiger, cat, and dog. Class Mammalia has other orders also. 1.2.6 Phylum. Classes comprising animals like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, along with mammals constitute a next higher category called phylum. All this based on common features like presence of notochord and dorsal halo neural system as included in phylum Chordata. In case of plant, classes with few similar characteristics are assigned to higher category called division. 1.2.7 Kingdom. All animals belonging to various phyla are assigned to highest category called Kingdom Animalia in classification system of animals. The Kingdom Plantae on the other hand is distinct and comprises all plant from various divisions. Henceforth, we will refer to these two groups as animal and plant kingdom. The taxonomic category from species to kingdom have been seen in ascending order starting with species. These are broad categories. However, the taxonomists have also developed subcategory in this hierarchy to facilitate more sound and scientific placement for various taxa. Look at hierarchy in figure 1.1. Can you recall basis of arrangement? Say from example, As we go higher from species to kingdom, the number of common characteristics goes on decreasing. Lower the taxa, more the characteristic that the member within the taxon share. Higher the category, greater is difficulty of determining the relation to other taxa at same level. Hence, the problem of classification become more complex. Table 1.1 indicate taxonomic category to which some common organisms like housefly, man, mango and weed belong. Thank you.